CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Wishing you and your family love and light this holiday season.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Well, live at 5, dashcam video is shedding more light on a chase involving law enforcement that ended in a fiery crash. Back on December 9th, we first told you about a Georgia State Patrol trooper who crashed into our sign out front during a high-speed chase. Now, GSP is releasing the wild video showing that pursuit that started here on Washington Road. Trooper Tyler Crow spotted the driver heading in the opposite direction. He turned around trying to catch up to the suspect and then turned down Alexander Drive. Now, the trooper starts weaving around several vehicles at a high rate of speed, and Trooper Crow gets eventually into the intersection of Alexander Drive, Riverwatch Parkway, blazing through a red light. At that time, he starts to lose control of his vehicle. His car then hits the median and the curb and then rams into our concrete sign out front. Trooper Crow was able to get out of the car before it caught on fire moments later as other troopers and Richmond County deputies arrived there on scene. All new tomorrow night, we'll have a full breakdown of that wild police pursuit that you see there that ended right here at News 12. Shifting gears to weather now as we give you a live look outside I-20 in Grovetown on a dreary afternoon for us. We could be seeing some of those cooler temps as we send things over to Riley. Riley, what are we expecting for the rest of our work week here?
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to start noticing some changes pushing forward this week. So this is our last afternoon that we'll likely see these temperatures still near 60 degrees by this time frame. So Thursday, high temps, upper 50s for most spots, and then we'll really drop those temperatures Friday into the weekend. We did bring back a little bit of cloud cover today. You can see from most of our cams around town, we do have some fairly cloudy skies. Clouds will stick around tonight in the first half of our Thursday, but we should bring back a lot of sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at our current temperatures if you are stepping out. 59 in Evans, 61 in Augusta, 59 there in Aiken, most spots upper 50s to low 60s. If you are heading out this evening, remember cloudy skies, but looking to stay dry. That is the good news about today. We finally did dry out a little bit. No rain in our forecast the rest of tonight, and temperatures just gradually working their way through the 50s up until around midnight. Now, eventually, we will see morning wake-up temps in the 40s, but you can see the real drop in our temperatures does start to happen Friday into the weekend. That's when we're expecting temperatures to be dropping back below normal. Much more on this coming up in the full forecast in just a bit. But let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a live look at Riverwatch Parkway and I-20 just outside of our building, and luckily not much traffic to report here at the moment. So if you are heading towards the state line, interstate looks okay. I'd imagine if we turn this camera around towards Costco and everything like that, it is a little bit busy. A lot of people trying to make those returns. Here's a look at Grovetown, looking at Lewiston Road. Not really seeing a ton of traffic backing up off the exit. There was a slowdown for the eastbound side of traffic a little bit earlier this afternoon, but looks like that has cleared up and not really seeing too many issues there off Lewiston Road. Update on the full forecast for you in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. We're days away from the new year, but the bars have to plan early. At the beginning of December, bar owners came out against Augusta commissioners for the right to serve alcohol on New Year's Eve. State law only allows bars to serve customers one Sunday night per year. Richmond County commissioners already picked Super Bowl Sunday for 2023 and 2024. For bars on Broad Street and across Richmond County, it's a creative push to ring in 2024 while also keeping their doors closed on New Year's Eve so they don't break that law. Bar owners say it's not ideal, but Joe's Underground is trying to remain positive in getting around this obstacle with a New Year's Eve celebration. They'll be starting things off early on Friday and Saturday this week with live music, champagne, even a countdown if customers want. A tough loss for December 31st, but they're still trying to create options for people to come downtown.
It's going to be New Year's without, the countdown. There's going to be champagne. There's going to be snacks. If they want to do a countdown, we'll do another countdown to the biggest non-event of the year. We're hoping that because we are pushing this big party program, people want to come out. People want to come hang out. People want to come support us even though the county won't.
Augusta commissioners plan to try and reverse their decision on choosing Super Bowl Sunday for 2024 at the beginning of next year. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding an armed suspect in Augusta. Investigators say on Christmas Day, 38-year-old Jonathan Martin was involved in an incident that happened at the Onyx Apartments on Wrightsboro Road. Martin is considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information on where he is, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Another person has thrown their hat in the ring to be the Columbia County Sheriff's Office new top cop. Former Chief Deputy Patrick Clayton, who just retired from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, making that announcement today. Clayton says if elected, he'll be the sheriff for all of the people, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian. He says he's always felt the sheriff's position should be a nonpartisan position, and he'll be running as an independent. Clayton says there's currently a lack of accessibility, visibility, accountability, fiscal conservatism, and operational tempo from current Sheriff Clay Whittle. In a release, Clayton states that he was the first police executive to initiate a body-worn camera program at the Richmond County Board of Education and Sheriff's Office, something Whittle has said he strongly is against in the past. Clayton has lived in Evans for the past 27 years. Currently, Sheriff Clay Whittle told us he plans to seek re-election, making a formal announcement next month. Whittle has been sheriff of one of the fastest growing counties in Georgia over the past 25 years. Under his leadership, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office has been recognized as the first sheriff's office accredited in the state of Georgia, which is based on performance. The woman accused of stabbing 3 people, including police, at the Atlanta airport had her second court hearing this morning, but a public defender attended in her absence. 44-year-old Demarius Milton is set to be in court again on February 5th. The stabbing spree first started in a taxi on October 11th, with police say Milton stabbed her driver after he missed an exit on the way to the airport. That's when police say Milton took the stabbing spree inside the airport and stabbed an officer and a random woman. Milton is now facing 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Well, another city joining a growing list of Georgia cities to decriminalize marijuana possession under an ounce. Doug Reardon explains how the move could do more than just free up jail cells.
In a unanimous vote on December 19th,
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
The East Point City Council joined a small but growing list of Georgia cities to decriminalize marijuana possession under 1 ounce. They now join places like Atlanta and Camilla, Georgia, earlier this year in taking that step.
Out of our 535 cities, East Point just became the 13th city to decrim.
Scotty Smart is a marijuana policy advocate with the group New Georgia Project. He says Georgia has the 4th highest rate in the country for simple marijuana possession charges, and ordinances like East Point's, making that charge punishable by a $75 fine and not jail time, will be good for some more than others.
More people who are black or brown are targeted with possession crimes, 3 to 4 more times higher to get arrested.
Decriminalization stops that process by making the punishment a fine, not incarceration. It'll also free up more time for police. Right in the ordinance language, city councilors noted the change is meant to enhance East Point public safety by, quote, reducing the amount of time officers spend in connection with the arrest, processing, and transportation of those accused of simple marijuana possession. Scotty says if you're unhappy with your local marijuana laws, hold your local elected officials accountable at the ballot box.
And they're getting elected by very small margins. So if we show up in the hundreds, 50 to 100 people, we can really create a change in our community.
And even if a person can't afford that $75 fine, they still won't go to jail in East Point. The ordinance says the next option would be community service. Well, it's been a staple in the Columbia County community, and it was almost forced to close its doors in Martinez. How customers are going to be able to enjoy Ruth's favorite dishes when Live at 5 returns. Riley?
Well, we are looking to dry out over the next couple of days, but colder weather is making a return. We'll have a look at the forecast just after the break.
Time and temp.
Breaking news out of Aiken County. Sled agents charging former Aiken Public Safety Officer Anthony Mason today with assault and battery in the 3rd degree. Sled was requested to investigate by Aiken County Department of Public Safety over use of force during that arrest. Now, the arrest warrant shows that the case revolves around a traffic stop in which Mason smelled marijuana coming from a vehicle. It says that the driver refused to cooperate with Mason's investigation and took off on foot. The driver eventually surrendered but continued to resist arrest when Mason allegedly hit him over the head. Well, Ruth's restaurant in Martinez has had loyal customers enjoying their all-day breakfast over the years, some close to the 40-year mark. Then the announcement came that they'd be shutting their doors. As Nick Velan reports, the favorite dishes with a side of Southern hospitality are staying on the menu.
A couple of weeks ago, owners thought that they would be locking Ruth's up for good. But new management stepped up, and they'll be around for 5 more years. Diana Davis has been a server at Ruth's for 13 years. When news broke about Ruth's closing, she knew that couldn't happen. So her and her husband, Vernon, have been together for 43 years and now are taking over as managers for the family restaurant to keep it alive. He says the community is excited that the doors won't be shut for good.
We got real great response for that, and still a lot of people know that they think we're still closing or it's going to close, but we're going to keep it going, and the service is going to be the same, and so we just hope everybody shows up, and let's keep it up and let's keep it going.
And Ruth's will be around for at least 5 more years, so there's going to be more good times and good food for years to come. And coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear some customer reaction to the news.
Some good cooking there. Thanks, Nick, for reporting on that. Hey, Riley, after Christmas, I don't think I can look at food anymore. I'm stuffed. I'm full. Need to go on a diet at this point as we head into the new year now.
Hey, this is the season of indulgence, and you got until next Monday before all those New Year's resolutions start. So, hey, indulge while you can. Hey, beautiful afternoon out there. Looking down the Savannah River, we have kept things mostly dry so far this afternoon, so a little bit drier outlook for us. Cloudy skies, though, have been pretty persistent. We've been able to see blue sky at some points, but generally just going to keep cloudy skies most of this evening into tonight. Temperatures back into the 60s. We're currently low 60s at the moment. We'll see those fall through the 50s for the rest of tonight. We're kind of in between two systems. So the system that brought us all the rain yesterday, that's now moving up the North Carolina coast. This is going to be our next system that passes through late Thursday into Friday. That's what's going to bring us those much colder temperatures as we do close out the week. And you can see the colder air behind that front moving across the southeast. So you can see a lot of the central U.S. currently in the 30s this afternoon. We are expecting our high temperatures to most likely drop off into the low and mid 50s as we head into Friday all the way into the new year early next week. So temperatures will start to feel a little bit cooler for us once we get past tomorrow. All this is driven by our jet stream. So we got a big dip in our jet stream across the central U.S. So that is dropping their temps. That is going to show up for the eastern U.S. as we close out the work week. So by Friday, our high temps could struggle to make it into the low 50s by the afternoon. We're going to hang on to those cool temps Saturday into Sunday, and then by early next week, we're just going to see another round of just this cold blast start to work its way in by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rolling into the first week of the new year. It looks like our morning temps are also going to be dropping as well, getting closer to the freezing mark, waking up early Sunday. The real cold stuff shows up next week. You can see we should actually see the 20s back as we get to around this time next week by next Wednesday. Weekend planner doesn't look too bad at all for outdoor plans. If you have anything planned for your New Year's Eve weekend, morning temps going to feel a little bit colder in the 30s, but afternoon highs staying in the 50s both days, and we should generally see sunny skies both afternoons this weekend, but we are unfortunately going to hang on to a little bit of some breezy conditions, at least on Saturday. New Year's Eve forecast for Sunday night. If you do have any plans to be out and about, make sure you're bundled up. It is going to be chilly out there. Temps will likely be in the upper 30s by around midnight heading into Sunday and Monday. Next couple of days, not looking too bad out there. We are going to see cloud cover stick around tonight and at least Thursday morning, but we do bring back some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. By Friday, we're back to sunny skies. It is going to be a little bit breezy at times. We're actually expecting that wind to gust maybe close to 30 miles an hour at times throughout the day on Friday. Here's a closer look at that day planner for your Thursday. So cloudy skies, temps in the mid-40s right around daybreak. Clouds will break up by the afternoon. That should allow us to warm up to close to 60 degrees late into the day on Thursday. Should really be nice out there as we close out our Thursday afternoon. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast for our New Year's Day. High temps, upper 50s, partly cloudy skies, and then colder weather does move in again past Monday.
Thanks, Riley. For 51 years, one man has driven a MARTA bus across Metro Atlanta, now reflecting on the memories he's made along the way. Chelsea Beamforce shares the good, the bad, and the unexpected.
Coy Dumas helps his wife into their car. It's a much smaller vehicle than the one he drove around Atlanta for more than 50 years.
Because to do what we do, you have to have a special kind of spirit and understand the responsibility. We have people relying on us to go to the grocery store, to go to the doctor, they go to work, to go to school.
Dumas is recently retired from MARTA, where he spent 5 decades driving the streets of Atlanta with passion.
It's all about what you have in here and in here.
At just 21 years old, Dumas says he was managing a shoe store when his uncle encouraged him to apply for what was then called Atlanta Transit. Since then, he's worked mornings, nights, holidays, and weekends. He's seen the good, the bad, and the unexpected.
I've done everything except deliver baby. Came close to doing that twice.
Since he started driving in 1972, MARTA estimates that Dumas has transported nearly 3 million passengers and driven nearly as many miles. His home is surrounded by accolades, plaques, and proclamations honoring his service, a MARTA uniform signed and framed by coworkers, and photos of his face plastered on the side of a bus celebrating his 50-year milestone in 2022. Dumas says he's still adjusting to retired life, but plans to help train future drivers during his golden years.
I've always said we carry the most valuable cargo you can imagine, and that's human life. And everybody cannot do what we do.
Well, up next, we're continuing our In Plain Sight investigative series, a man fighting the government for his life savings. But will he win? That's coming up next. DEA agents seizing $28,000 from a man at the airport in Columbus, Ohio. No drugs were found, and he's been fighting since the pandemic to get his life savings back from the government. Our chief Atlanta investigator, Brendan Keefe, shares his story in the ongoing series, In Plain Sight.
Kermit Warren is back on the road to recovery. His fight with the government finally in the rearview mirror.
What does this truck mean to your livelihood? Everything. Without this, I can't make my money. I can't feed my family.
It wasn't a hurricane here in New Orleans' lower Ninth Ward that took his life savings. DEA agents seized his $28,000 at the airport in Columbus, Ohio.
They said we were notified that you had a lot of cash on you. I said, what is it against the law for me to travel with cash? I'm up here to purchase a truck.
The pandemic took Kermit's job as the shoe shine man at a New Orleans hotel, so he and his son decided to start a towing business. They found this used truck for sale in Ohio and flew there with the cash to buy it, but they decided it wasn't the right truck for them.
I said, I'm not going to get this vehicle. We're going to go to the airport. We're going to fly back to New Orleans.
With the money.
With the money.
They left with the same money in this bag photographed when they arrived in Ohio. On the way home, Kermit told TSA at the Columbus airport he had a large amount of cash, and court records show the TSA informed the DEA agents, who seized the money without finding drugs.
I wasn't arrested. I wasn't charged with any kind of crimes or anything. All they wanted to do was take my cash and send me back home.
They didn't have to prove you were a drug dealer. You had to prove you weren't a drug dealer.
That's correct, sir. I said, if you don't believe me, we have the number to the gentleman who we're going to buy the vehicle from. We have a description of the vehicle. We have pictures of the vehicle. Didn't want to hear any of that. It was just see cash, take cash.
Kermit's father drowned here when the levees broke during Hurricane Katrina. His mother died soon after. They didn't have much, but what they had, they left to their son. And Kermit says that inheritance was among the money the DEA seized.
Most of it was my life savings. I would take $100 per week and put on the side for like 25 years.
How did Kermit eventually pay for a tow truck? He filed a claim for his own money in federal court. Drug dealers don't try to get their money back from the police. They say, well, this is the cost of doing business, right?
That's correct. I would have chalked it up and said, that's just a part of that lifestyle. But I work hard for my money. Everything I have is from blood, sweat, and tears.
Now he's back in the driver's seat here in New Orleans, the sun setting on the case after the nonprofit Institute for Justice represented him for free, and federal prosecutors agreed to drop the case and return his money. What was it like when the government gave you every single penny back? How did that feel?
I knew I would get it back because I know one thing, I was innocent.
Do you feel vindicated?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? I'm fighting with everything living inside of me that this does not happen to anybody else.
for the next couple of days, we are looking to stay dry, but cooler temps are going to be arriving most likely Friday into the weekend. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
Find your president.
Welcome back. Here's a look down our Thurman Dam Cam. Beautiful afternoon, just a little bit cloudy, and this cloud cover is going to stick around most of tonight. We are expecting temperatures to eventually fall into the mid-40s once we get towards daybreak tomorrow morning. Currently, right now, we're in the 60s, low 60s being reported out of Bushfield. Now, high temperatures staying close to 60 again tomorrow, but you can see they will be dropping heading into our Friday and the weekend forecast, and most likely going to keep highs below 60 degrees as we roll into the new year by next Monday. Now, if you do have New Year's Eve plans, if you're going to be heading out, temperatures around 7 o'clock Sunday evening, upper 40s. They will be falling into the upper 30s as we get closer towards that midnight hour, though. So definitely going to need to bundle up, have a couple layers out there. It is going to be pretty chilly Sunday night. Looking at our radar network, we do not have any rain in the forecast the rest of this evening. And honestly, not looking at much rain in the 7-day forecast either. We do look to hang on to dry weather through the weekend and for our New Year's Day on Monday. Next week does look chilly, though, with highs in the 50s.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.